Hey guys, what's up? How ya doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about the new episode of ReZero Season 3 on episode 4 or episode 54 of the total number of episodes of ReZero. Anyways, this episode right here looks like to me there's going to be a lot of trouble along the way, so if anything else, let's just get this started right away, okay? Sorry, excuse me, I was about to sneeze, but anyways, other than that, let's go. We have Turik, Garf, and Mimi end up entering the office courtyard, which apparently is filled with a lot of dead bodies of the guards chopped up into pieces, but we also see two of the people who are responsible. And we have to it, Mimi tells Garf that we can't take these two on, and Mimi's like animal instincts or knowing what's gonna happen is really gone into overdrive, saying we gotta get the out of here now. Although Garf is hesitant to do so, he decides to leave decides to leave right away and take Mimi's advice. Other of what's going on in the city of water, we have to it Reinhardt is in a very tight bind right now where Felt is being held hostage by his own father, which is very gosh dang annoying, all things considered of how screwed up his father is. We have to it Felt tells Reinhardt not to worry about it and that you should go and do what you gotta do. Although Reinhardt is still reluctant to want to leave Felt, we have to it that that we don't know what his decision or answer is. We have to it Natsuki Subaru is talking with Felix, Krush, Wilhelm, Iron Mask guy, Iron Helmet guy, the guy that serves Priscilla, I think that's her name. I don't remember. All I know is like that helmet guy or something like that serves one of the royal candidates to like be a leader of the country or so. Whatever the case ends up being right now, the Iron Mask guy or whatsoever, or Aldebaran, as it says on one of the character lists, he ends up having to say that be part of the conversation, and the witch's remains might be something else, and it is something else, and it's very important. But unfortunately, they end up getting some more bad news about what happened to Mimi. Garf shows up to Natsuki Subaru on time, and Mimi was very much close to dying. The other situation involving is that her wounds are not closing, which means that some kind of power is preventing her from healing up. And all things considered, after getting Mimi to be tended and getting patched up, we have to Kiritaka Muse ends up showing up and tells him about the situation about the remains. We cannot give him the remains because one, that thing that's underwater and is actually holding the city at bay. In other words, if they were to remove it or do anything to it, that means the whole city is gonna flood. It will destroy the city. So pretty much they have no other option but to fight off against the witch's cult. There is no other way to handle it. As for Garf, he is in a very bad situation mentally himself because he himself got hurt, and Mimi that he was supposed to protect or try to escape with ends up injuring her, gets injured herself. So it was pretty much like a bad mental state of mind of what happened, but with some motivation from some Beastman and Subaru, they managed to work together in order to get into action. Eventually, we get to see the attack force consisting of the Beastman, Julius, Natsuki Subaru himself, Krush, Wilhelm, and Garf. So pretty much these guys are pretty much going into action right now in order to stop the witch's cult's plans and to stop them from destroying the city. Because the one thing for certain is that they can't give the witch's remains or whatever remains they have underwater, because one, it will destroy the city, and two, they have to stop them from overflooding the entire place filled with innocent people. So we have to it that the guy Aldeban, the guy with the iron mask, Priscilla's knight, I guess, so sorry, ends up saying that I have to go see my mistress, or go tend to my leader because I have no other option to go right now. Although Natsuki Subaru feels like he might be useless, that's not really the case. Whatever the event unfolds, we have to it Natsuki Subaru will later on given advice to not reveal his name to the gluttony sin of the Archbishop because that's all he could give him. So he wishes him the best. We have to it that Natsuki Subaru is in a very tight mental state of mind, and Julius tries to calm him down, saying, "Hey, take it easy. I understand how you feel. If I had that kind of history with gluttony, with one of the gluttonies, I'll be mad myself." Although Natsuki Subaru appreciates the offer, he says, "Hey, thank you, man. Whatever the situation, thanks anyway." But we have to it that they end up clashing against the two enemies that Garth and Minnie barely escaped from. And we get to see that the guy with multiple arms in the witch's cult costume is actually putting up a good fight. Even the Beastman even though Garth and the Beastman, which I forgot his name, ends up managing to work together with Garth to stop the guy or put him into his place. Unfortunately, he has more than just 4 arms, which apparently is very frightening. So he sprouted out 4 more arms, and Natsuki Subaru manages to help him out a bit and manage to stop the guy with multiple arms from attacking. But unfortunately, the fact that they trying to fight these two that Mimi and Garth are having trouble with, sadly, they are stuck in a situation called, I guess, a stalemate, which apparently one does not have the advantage or disadvantage over the other. But we get to see that the witch's sin of lust, Capella Emeralda Luginica? I guess that's her name. I'll just call her Capella Emeralda. Luginica? Sorry. I guess that last name is really hard to pronounce. I'll just call her Capella. All I know is the witch's sin Archbishop of Lust shows up in her dragon form. Subaru makes a couple distractions for Julius to make the attack. But sadly though, that attack didn't do squat because even though they did some damage, she just regenerates instantly, saying, "Oh my gosh, is that all you got?" And that's about it. When the bell rang up, the dragon decides, the witch's sin of lust decides to make her leave and decides to go attend other business. Unfortunately, they are still occupied with two of these beings in the witch's costume. You know, the guy with the multiple arms, and then the other one who is a very powerful swordsman. We have to it that that the Beastman, which apparently his name is Ricardo, I believe, Ricardo Welkin and Garth, along with I think Wilhelm, decides to hold the two. Will hold out the two for now, or should I say Wilhelm, Garth, and Ricardo decides to hold off against the two powerful combatants of the witches cult for the time being. So we have Subaru, Julius, and Cruz decides to enter the office, but not before they get interrupted by a guy named by the Sin Archbishop of Gluttony, Roy Alfard. This enrages Subaru so much that he's ready to go for the kill, saying "Oh, I got some history with you. I'm ready to murder your butt to oblivion. I hope you're freaking ready for that." You know, even Roy's like, "Oh, you have some serious grudge against me, don't you?" And the episode ends up there. And there's a post-credit scene involving Amelia in having no clothes on in bed, which I kind of find bothersome and annoying. She goes "Huh? Why am I naked? What's going on here?" And we have to it Roy, on the other hand, Regulus Cornelius ends up showing up to Amelia's room and says, "Hey, I'm so glad you're okay, but I want to ask you a question. A very important question," which I go "What is that question?" He asks Amelia, "Hey, are you a virgin by any chance? That's the one thing that really matters." I'm thinking in my mind, are you for freaking real, dude? Are you for freaking real? He literally asked Amelia after, like, what he did that stripped her naked and threw her into bed, waiting for her to wake up and ask her, hey, you're a virgin, right? I'm like, oh, man, dude. Other than that, the couple highlights of this episode involves the witch's remains, or what the remains holds the city up, and if it gets removed or so, the city will be destroyed. Mimi is in a very bad critical condition of damage, and we have to the attack force decides to go into action to try to like take back a certain location of the office, and we get to see that we have to it that one of the attack forces, Aldebaran, the guy in the iron helmet mask whatsoever, he apparently decides to go look for Priscilla Buriel. And we have to it that Subaru's attack force ends up taking on the two opponents that Garth and Mimi almost died and that barely escaped from. And those two right there seems very formidable. Then the witches, the Archbishop of Lust, which is cult of Lust. Archbishop shows up. Capella. I'm just gonna call her the Witch's Lust whatsoever. As for her name, it's very hard to pronounce. Please forgive me on that. All I know is like what's the name again? Capella Emerita Luganica Chan Sama. That's it. So looks like to me that's about it. And of course she leaves after a while, and then we have to it Subaru, Julius, and Krush ends up meeting the gluttony sin bishop of the witches cult, Roy Alfard, Roy Alfard, and gets ready to go into action against them. And the post-credit scene shows up, and Amelia is stripped naked, and Regulus Cornelius asks Amelia, hey, are you virgin, just to make sure? And the episode ends up there. I'm like, are you for freaking real? Anyways, looking forward to next episode, and maybe a couple more after that, because from what I hear is that we're supposed to reach a certain halfway point, and then the other half will show up sometime in 2025, I believe. So until then, I'll see you guys later. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!